What's up everyone, this is FP Sticks, and in today's video we're going to be bringing you some Go Battle League battles in the Ultra League. As we know, Go Battle League is back, and how hilarious was it that yesterday's video I was speculating about what Go Battle League was going to be when it came back based off of what data miners dug up, and that Great League might be possibly coming back, and then literally that same day, like right after I recorded that video, Niantic releases Go Battle League, and we're back in the Ultra League, but looks like the leaderboard has been taken down, and I'm not sure if they have fixed any glitches because things still seem to be somewhat laggy. As far as like the actual gameplay lag goes, I haven't really noticed that much lag. What I have noticed is, as we discussed in the previous video, the delay that is occurring after someone throws a charge move, that is definitely still present within the game, and as far as I can tell, it's not a consistent mechanic. It still doesn't seem to be consistent. Sometimes your opponent gets an extra fast move, sometimes you get an extra fast move, sometimes both people are just stuck standing there and then we resync back up. So I'm still not sure what's going on. It does look, just from like a tweet that I saw today, it looks like the Continentals were originally going to take place this weekend, but I think their date might get pushed back in hopes that some of these PvP glitches will be fixed, but we will see. Anyways, I'm very excited that Go Battle League is back, and today, the day that I'm recording this, I actually gained 130 points in one day using this team of Escavalier, Snorlax, and Lapras, a team that you guys have seen on the channel before. Again, I originally got this team composition idea from 2O Butters, who's another content creator. You can check him out on Twitch. Really talented battler. And this team is very well rounded and essentially has decent play against a lot of the core meta. If you run into a team that consists of Cresselia, Giratina, Registeel, Swampert, some sort of combination of those core 4 Pokemon, you're really going to have a decent amount of play. Now, something that's difficult for this team to handle is Giratina in the lead. But luckily, Snorlax and Lapras both have play against that. Essentially, your back line is somewhat weak to Registeel. So what needs to happen is whenever you switch in Snorlax, hopefully, if your opponent is running Registeel, they will most likely switch in Registeel onto it to avoid the Escavalier, because obviously they want their Registeel to avoid the Escavalier. If this does not happen and they save their Registeel for the back, you're totally screwed, because Lapras just really does not have that much play against Registeel, unless you have like a 2 shield and like 100 energy advantage. Then Lapras can kind of dance with that. But I had a very positive day today using these teams, even though I ran into some really difficult team compositions for this team to deal with. We still had a really positive day, and that just goes to show you how powerful, yet again, Snorlax is in the Ultra League. I use Snorlax as my safe swap very frequently. One of the worst scenarios that you'll run into when you switch into Snorlax is if they have an Obstagoon, but what you can do is you can charge up to a lot of energy and try to throw your opponent off into thinking that you might have superpower. And I actually did that in a couple matches today, and I was able to get a shield out of that secondary matchup and then continue to actually end up winning the game, even though my switch-in was very hard countered. Same thing with Escavalier. If you switch in Snorlax and your opponent switches in an Escavalier, it's not the best situation to be in. But if your opponent gets very greedy and tries to farm you down, you can actually bait with a Body Slam and then land an Earthquake. If it looks like your opponent is just going to go like throw the energy, like throw a Drill Run, that happens a lot. Escavalier will throw a Drill Run and then try to counter you down. You're going to be able to get an Earthquake no matter what, which is really great. It almost takes out Escavalier with the subsequent lick damage, so not too bad. Snorlax always has play, even against its worst matchups. You're at least going to be able to hit for neutral damage. I actually ended today with a rating of 28-24, which is my personal best for the season. Since the leaderboards are down, I have no idea where this places me against the rest of the battlers, but I'm just going to keep chugging along and just focusing on my own gameplay here, and I was really proud of that performance today. I think at the end of the video I'm still like in the 2700 range, but I played some more sets today, ended up at 28-24, so very exciting. Let's take a look at how some of these matches pan out. I switched in my Snorlax onto the Swampert, and they're opting to stay in, which makes me think, okay, now they're bringing out Escavalier very late, which is interesting. Our switch clocks are not going to be aligned, so I'm going to be able to get my own Escavalier onto this Escavalier. This entire backline, very weak to Escavalier, very weak to Poliwrath. Seeing either of those Pokemon in the back is very difficult for this team to handle. Gonna be able to get to this drill run. I think I farm up just a little bit extra. Let's see if they want to keep this Escavalier alive. They're going to shield that up. Unfortunately, I have to shield this up as well. We're going to go to a zero shield scenario here. They switch in their own Swampert. Really nice play. I was too slow to switch in my Lapras. So down goes my Escavalier with that loaded energy. And they have an Alolan Muck. This is going to be very close. The Alolan Muck is most likely going to double Sludge Wave. And I'm going to try to double Ice Beam here. Looks like they might have gotten in an extra Snarl there, which is not ideal. I land the first Ice Beam, and then I'm really hoping that this Muck is in Surf range. So I'm going to throw the Surf, and it survives with a sliver of health. Oh my gosh. This is just going to be a Dark Pulse, and then I'm going to be able to Ice Shard it down. Out comes the Escavalier. I'm barely not able to get to a Surf. Very close game. Good game. Escavalier mirror match. I have to stay in this and I have to play it out, and I just have to hope and pray that the game does not allow my opponent to get an extra fast move. My opponent right there actually went for the extra fast move instead of going for the CMP time, so we're still going to keep playing this out. Oh man, this is not super great. This is not great at all. Okay, luckily I was able to sneak in some extra counters there, and honestly at this point, I think I might let the Escavalier go. Yeah, I'm going to take the shield advantage, and then bring out my Snorlax to farm down this Escavalier. So that's really good for me. They're not able to get to another charge move. Snorlax with loaded energy, up a shield. Let's see what my opponent wants to do about this. They bring out Togekiss, which is interesting. Maybe there's a Giratina in the back. Most likely a Giratina in the back, because Giratina definitely does not want to see Snorlax, especially if it's a Shadow Claw Giratina. I bring out my Lapras. I can tank an Ancient Power, no problem, and I'm going to commit to farming this down. We will never know what's in the back. We will never know what they had in the back. I'm assuming a Giratina. Okay, really bad lead here, but because it's a Dragon Breath Giratina, I ran into this scenario a lot. I'm going to throw a Drill Run, throw one more counter, and then try to sack swap my Snorlax. But my opponent is way too smart and does not throw the Shadow Sneak. Sometimes it works because the Giratina gets to the amount of energy for Shadow Sneak right around that time. And I found if you throw your energy, you're kind of psychologically convincing your opponent that you're going to stay in that match, and then they're more likely to dump their energy, because obviously Escavalier and the Giratina, that's not a favorable matchup for Escavalier, so your opponent is going to assume that you're going to switch out. But if you throw energy, they're more likely to throw energy back, but it did not work. This is very interesting. At this point, I'm actually going to bring out Lapras to farm down this Giratina, because if it is a Registeel in the back, I at least need to hit the ground running with some loaded energy. Of course, it's a Melmetal, so this is way more playable for me, actually, because Melmetal is nowhere near as tanky as Registeel, like not even close to the amount of tankiness, and I have a shield advantage. And we had an energy advantage as well, so I will shield up the Rock Slide. I'm now going to bring out my Escavalier. Swampert in the back. We still have some play here. I'm going to let this Hydro Cannon go through because I knew I would survive. Let's see if they want to shield up this Mega Horn. They let it go through, so at this point I'm going to try to counter down the Swampert, but they're going to throw their energy here, totally fine by me. I'm going to shield it up, farm down, This drill run is going to pressure the last shield onto the Melmetal. And then I'm going to get 2 more counters worth. This is going to be crazy close. I'm going to eat a rock slide. Melmetal might be able to get to 2 rock slides before I can throw another surf. I cannot ice shard this thing down. I was barely able to sneak in an extra ice shard while my opponent was throwing a rock slide, and that is really what did it. Because look at this, I'm able to get to the surf. I guarantee you they were like 1 thunder shock away from that rock slide. They could have possibly thrown superpower. Maybe they weren't at the superpower either, but good game there. Escavalier in the Grand Bowl. Totally fine with this. We are resisting the charm damage. They are resisting the counter damage. Both of our charge moves are, well, Drill Run is going to hit for neutral. And Mega Horn would be resisted. So at this point, I am definitely going to commit a shield here and then actually farm down the Granbull. But they switch out into Gyarados. Lapras is a excellent response to Gyarados. And honestly, anytime I can get my Lapras onto the field and guarantee that it doesn't get aligned with a Steel type, it's a good day. Also, this Gyarados is running Outrage, which is very interesting. They shield once, not super great. I'm going to let this Crunch go. Okay, that's pretty interesting. I guess I didn't want to be down 2 shields. Now I'm going to bring out the Snorlax. Gonna get this into almost body slam range, and then I should be able to lick down. Yep, barely able to. I get like 1 more lick's worth of damage. Empoleon in the back. Okay. So Escavalier we know is gonna have a favorable matchup against this. I'm gonna shield up the Hydro Cannon because I'm either gonna burn their last shield. The Granbull comes out. I knew I could farm it down. This Earthquake is either going to KO the Empoleon or get the last shield, and then I'm just going to bring in my Escavalier. As you can see, Drill Run's going to be coming through, probably barely not take it out, and then I'm going to be able to counter it down. Good game. Alright, Escavalier into Registeel. This is the dream scenario, and my Lapras needs to avoid this, so I'm expecting a switch out. They're staying in, which is very interesting. They must have some other Pokemon in the back that are weak to Escavalier. Anytime that this takes place, you can kind of guarantee that they're going to have something weak to Escavalier in the back as well. Possibly a Cresselia. But I was able to make a very fast swap into my Lapras, so the opposing Giratina did not get a huge energy advantage. It is so risky to bait in this matchup if you were the Lapras, because Surf just does not do hardly any damage, and Ice Beam hits for very strong, super effective damage. So luckily they did not shield that. I'm going to be able to farm this down and have enough energy stored to even threaten that Registeel, which is really good for me. Let's see what they want to bring out. They're going to bring out the Reggie again, so I'm going to throw the Surf. I'm very close to getting to another Surf. I doubt they're going to shield this. Okay, now they bring out Armored Mewtwo, and I'm just going to throw an Ice Beam here to try to soften up Armored Mewtwo a little bit. Now I'm going to bring out Snorlax. We still both have 2 shields. Dynamic Punch would hit Snorlax for super effective, but my opponent did a really good job of baiting there. Again, I'm trying to time my queuing up of the charge moves to ensure that my opponent does not get an extra confusion. This looked like a CMP tie here, and Snorlax wins against Armored Mewtwo. I get both shields. This is looking really good. I shield up another Psystrike. Out comes Registeel. I'm able to farm it down, and then I'm going to be able to get to this Body Slam and take out the Mewtwo. Good game. We had a favorable lead. We maintained good alignment. That's what it's all about. If you guys ever find yourself losing matches when you have such a favorable lead, it's most likely because you did not win out your secondary matchup. You did not maintain the alignment. Alignment is so important in blind battles. Escavalier and Obstagoon, this is totally a favorable matchup for me. They do get the boost. I wonder if they're going to shield this. Nope, they're just going to sack it and let it go. Out comes Charizard to farm down. I actually ran into this team comp like 3 times today, where they just sack the Obstagoon and then farm me down with Charizard. I bring out Lapras because I'm worried about a possible steel type in the back. That's why I brought out Lapras here. But it's a Cresselia. I have a lot of energy stored up on my Lapras, which is good because when that Charizard comes back, I need some Surfs to threaten it. This Snorlax-Cresselia matchup is very interesting. I'm pretty sure Snorlax actually wins in the Zero Shield because I have been the Cresselia in this instance. And I have lost to Snorlax's in the Zero Shield. Maybe it's just because I was going like Moonblast when I should have been going Future Sight or something, but I will shield that up. I get the attack drop right there, but it doesn't really matter because the lick damage is still adding up, and I know I'm going to be getting shields here. Okay, they're saving both shields for Charizard. Oh my gosh. Lapras comes in to catch this Future Sight. That is so bad. I'm gonna throw this Surf. I don't think a Fire Spin went through. I don't think I'm gonna be able to get to another Surf though. Ay. Oh, this is so bad. I at least cleared my debuff, but I have to get to 2 Body Slams here. I know Cresselia is out of energy. They did not get a Fire Spin through. That is huge. I'm kind of close to another Body Slam. It's gonna be so close. Barely able to get there because I queued up my charge move in the middle of the Fire Spin animation. Thank goodness that occurred like that. And then I'm going to be able to lick down the Cresselia. Good game, man. Very close game. Okay, Escavalier mirror match. We got to play these out. Our entire backline loses to this thing. We will commit 2 shields if we have to. We actually lose CMP here. Pretty surprising because our Escavalier is not that great PvP IV. So most of the time I end up winning CMP. Which is really what I need in these mirror matches. Lost CMP again. So at this point I'm worried that my opponent might try to make a sacrificial swap. But I queue up the drill run. It looks like they're still in here. They commit both shields. And we both counter each other down. Alright. I'm going to bring out Snorlax here, and we see a Registeel. We got so lucky. If we would have clicked Lapras, that would have been rough, but Snorlax in general has more neutral play against a lot of things, so it's a pretty safe thing to bring in. I just need to get this Registeel into Surf range. Just need to get it into Surf range, but they overcharged. And so if they land a Focus Blast on my Lapras, I am so screwed. Oh man, I'm able to throw the Surf before they throw a charge move. This is amazing. What is in the back? It is a Giratina. This is totally fine. It is Dragon Breath Giratina, which makes this a little bit worse for me just because the fast move damage really adds up. But man, we're going to be able to get an Ice Beam and then even farm it down. I love this Lapras Giratina matchup in the Zero Shield. Because all you gotta do is land one Ice Beam, and then you farm it down, and you end the matchup with lots of stored energy. It's like the dream scenario. It's one of my favorite matchups to play out when you're able to get a Giratina switch locked. Good game. Escavalier into Giratina. This is not good. Is it Dragon Breath? It is Dragon Breath. So, what we're gonna do here, we're gonna throw the Drill Run, do one more counter, and then switch into Snorlax, hoping to catch a Shadow Sneak. There's no way that Giratina baits here. And we were able to successfully do it. This is obviously going to be a Shadow Sneak. Really good for us. All that energy went to waste. They're staying in here. Now they're going to switch in Registeel very late. I think they just wanted to get my Snorlax into Focus Blast range. Fair enough. But that Giratina has a little bit below half health now, so Drill Runs are really going to chip it away when my Escavalier gets stuck against that thing again. Okay, here's the unfortunate thing. That was kind of a wasted shield, because as you can see, I'm not going to get to this Earthquake, and Focus Blast is able to take me out. Oh man, I was stressing when that happened. For sure. I'm going to throw the Drill Run. This is barely not enough to take it out, and then I'm hoping that I can counter it down. I am able to counter it down and not eat another charge move. Really good for me. Okay, out comes the freaking Giratina again, but we know Registeel is out of the picture. So Lapras is going to have play against what? Oh my gosh, it's a Meganium. Never mind. Grass in the back? What the heck? What the heck, man? Grass in the back. And of all the grass types, it's the bulky Meganium, so this is not great. As you can, if I would have baited, I think this would have been a different scenario. Because as you can see, Frenzy Plant is probably just barely enough to take me out. And then the Meganium is barely going to survive this drill run. And then check this out. This is insane. I'm like, okay, it's a Frenzy Plant. I can tank this. No. It is a freaking Earthquake. Good game. Good game. So I believe I ended up somewhere in the 2700 range, but I did end up at 2824 today. Thank you all so much for watching. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Go Battle League is back. Even if there's some glitches, it is still fun. Make sure you're having fun with this game. Thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.